probably know by now that former Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz withdrew from consideration today to be the next Attorney General after just 9 days in consideration here. Remember, he was facing an onslaught of scrutiny over that House Ethics Committee report detailing some of his alleged sexual improprieties with underage girls. In the meantime, in just the last few minutes, President-elect Donald Trump has picked another person who he wants to lead the Department of Justice. I want to put her face up right there. She is Pam Bondi. She's the former Florida Attorney General. Donald Trump saying in a post on Truth Social just moments ago, I am proud to announce former Attorney General of the great state of Florida, Pam Bondi, as our next Attorney General of the United States. He says Pam was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years, where she was very tough on violent criminals and made the streets safe for Florida families. He says then, as Florida's first female Attorney General, she worked to stop the trafficking of deadly drugs and reduce the tragedy of fentanyl overdose deaths, which have destroyed many families across our country. He says, she did such an incredible job that I tasked her to serve on our Opioid and Drug Abuse Commission during my first term. He says we saved many lives. So he says for too long, the partisan Department of Justice has been weaponized against me and other Republicans. He says, not anymore. Pam will refocus the DOJ to its intended purpose of fighting crime and making America safe again. He says, I've known Pam for many years. She is smart and tough and is an America First fighter who will do a terrific job as Attorney General here. So that was the post just minutes ago on Truth Social and on X there from Caroline Leavitt, Trump's incoming White House press secretary. Trump has picked Pam Bondi after quite a whirlwind of a day with these picks in flux, including the Gaetz pick. Now that Gaetz has withdrawn, of course, both these individuals, of course, hailing from the state of Florida. We're going to be speaking to Florida reporters a little bit later on to talk about what happened with the Gaetz nomination and what's going to happen with the Bondi nomination now. Will she garner the support of all the senators that she needs? Of course, that was one of the main reasons it's being reported that Gaetz withdrew, that he just did not have the votes among a select few number of Republican senators there. So let's start all of this off. We're going to be bringing in some of our reporters into the conversation to talk about the political nature of this breaking news. But this was the moment today that we all found out that Gaetz was withdrawing. He tweeted this. He said, I had excellent meetings with senators yesterday. He says, I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. While the momentum was strong, it's clear my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. He says there is no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. He says Trump's DOJ must be in place and ready on day one. He says, I remain fully committed to see that Donald J. Trump is the most successful president in history. I will forever be honored that President Trump nominated me to lead the Department of Justice, and I'm certain he will save America. So that was Gaetz on social media today telling all of us that he is dropping out of consideration. And now his nominee successor, if you will, former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, was just tapped by President-elect Donald Trump here. So
breaking news just coming in. Donald Trump has named or nominated Pam Bondi to be the Attorney General of the United States. No relation. She spells her name B-O-N-D-I. Mine is B-O-N-D-Y. She comes from Florida. This comes after Matt Gaetz withdrew his name earlier in the day to be the Attorney General after some investigations and some scandals going on, or alleged scandals, and he decided to withdraw his name because he said he did not want to be a interference or a distraction within the Trump administration. So that news just coming out. I want to know what you think. Pam Bondi, Attorney General of the United States, and many people are saying tonight that she is most likely going to get the go-ahead. She will be confirmed. She doesn't have and really any controversies that anyone knows about, or at least that I know about in her past. So this news just breaking a short time ago. She will need to be confirmed by the Senate. Just wanted to know what you think about this. Make sure you're following me here and go to my bio and click on my Substack newsletter to get newsletters sent to you free. Breaking it all the time. Breaking the news all the time, everybody.
So I have a message from Mark Cuban. From all of us here tonight, underestimate us. This is going to be fun.
So now Trump has nominated Pam Bondi for Attorney General of the United States. She's not Matt Gaetz, but she accepted a $25,000 donation from Trump's foundation and then declined to investigate him for Trump University. She focused on fighting against the ACA, ignored Florida's opioid crisis for years, and didn't protect homeowners after 2008. So is she better or is she worse than Matt Gaetz?
So Trump choosing Pam Bondi to be his AG it's a stroke of genius. So I believe he wanted her from the beginning, and now who's going to say anything about a woman, right? It would almost be, he's not stupid. He's annoying, but not stupid. But if you think back to why she would be the choice, she got him off the case. He was broke the law in 2016. Remember, he made a $25,000 contribution to a political group that was supporting her. Anyway, that's the dish. She's another criminal, whatever. She's a lawyer. Aren't they all criminals? No offense to the honest ones. Yeah, girl, it's getting boring.
We have some major breaking news. Donald Trump just announced that Pam Bondi is his new selection for Attorney General after Matt Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration today. In a new statement, Donald Trump said, "I am proud to announce former Attorney General of the great state of Florida, Pam Bondi, as our next Attorney General of the United States. She was a prosecutor for 20 years. She focused on violent crime, yada yada." But here's the thing about Pam Bondi. She and Trump have somewhat of a relationship. She served as one of his lawyers in one of his impeachment trials. But also, in 2013, while she was the Florida Attorney General, Bondi received a $25,000 donation from Trump while Bondi was deciding whether to take legal action against Trump and his fraudulent university, Trump University. Bondi eventually decided not to pursue action. So on face value, that kind of seems like I'll give you some money, you don't come after me, and she agreed to do that. So is she better than Matt Gaetz? Sure, probably. The bar is really low, though, so it's not all that hard to clear, but still not great.
Lock her up, I like that. He remained on the board until April of 2019. We also know that
So when I first heard about Pam Bondi being picked as the new Attorney General to replace Gaetz, I did a quick search and found out she was Attorney General for Florida, and before that, a prosecutor for 20 years. And I thought, holy crap. He actually picked somebody who's qualified. So then I dug deeper. Apparently in 2013, then businessman Donald Trump donated $25,000 to her campaign. And that was around the same time when she was tasked as Attorney General to investigate whether the Trump University was committing fraud. She ended up not finding fraud, coincidentally. And then later on, she used campaign finances improperly to push a defense for Donald Trump while Donald Trump was president. So there's all kinds of fraud going on, and she has been investigated. So it turns out his pick is crap.
He's out. She's in. But if you're in the Trump administrations, this needs to be a particular lesson learned. Now you know these senators that were campaigning behind the Trump back. The only reason they got elected in the first place because they were endorsed by the Trump and the MAGA movement. Those are the same people. They promised to be loyal to the party. They promised to follow the line and make sure to drain the swamp. The moment he came in the picture, we start seeing the snakes in the grass. And this shouldn't come as a brainer. There'll always be fugazi politicians. They tell you what you want to hear, but behind closed doors, they have to do what their bosses are telling them to do, aka the swamp. So if you're in the Trump administration, you would write down those fucking names and you make sure to follow with each and every single one of them. They're no longer on the Christmas list. The first moment they found a way to betray you, they took it. And you should make their name public. You see, fish does not see the hook. They see the bait. He was the bait. Now, hook those motherfuckers up and do what's necessary. Let me know what you think down below.
All right, y'all, we got Pam Bondi, who is Donald Trump's new nomination for Attorney General. Now, Pam Bondi is currently Attorney General of Florida. I like her. She's a pit bull.
Ambassador Yovanovitch was confirmed July 2016 as the Obama administration was coming to a close. In September 2016, a Ukrainian court cancels the oligarch Zlochevsky's arrest warrant for lack of progress in the case. In mid-January 2017, Burisma announces that all legal proceedings against it and Zlochevsky have been closed. Both of these things happened while Hunter Biden sat on the board of Burisma. Around this time, Vice President Biden leaves office. Years later now, former Vice President Biden publicly details what we know happened, his threat to withhold more than $1 billion in loan guarantees unless Shokin was fired. Here's the Vice President.
I said, no, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time.
What he didn't say on that video, according to the New York Times, this was the prosecutor investigating Burisma, Shokin. What he also didn't say on the video was that his son was being paid significant amounts by the oligarch, owner of Burisma, to sit on that board. Only then does Hunter Biden leave the board. He stays on the board until April 2019. This lawlessness must stop right here, right now. Donald Trump will stop it. Lock her up. I love that.
This is Donald Trump's newest Attorney General. As of today, Matt Gaetz has dropped out from the Attorney General race. He no longer wants the appointment. I'll go over that in another video. And Trump has now announced Pam Bondi as his new Attorney General appointment. We're going to break down where she came from, what she does, and her ties to Trump. Guys, if you're not following me, I'm Samuel Arms. I'm a political strategist. Give me a follow and pay attention. So Pam Bondi was Florida's Attorney General, our first female Attorney General, and got elected in 2010 with Rick Scott. Pam Bondi and Trump's relationship has gone back a long time, to the point where in 2013, Trump actually gave Pam Bondi political donations. Pam Bondi has always been a hardcore Republican, even suing to get rid of Obamacare. And that's why she won her primary and her general election so handedly. And soon after Trump announced his candidacy for president in 2016, when the Republican field was crowded, she endorsed Donald Trump. She ended up going after Biden for the Hunter Biden laptop stories, became such a confidant of Trump's, she actually led his legal team in various proceedings. So she is definitely one of Trump's most trusted advisors. She's had his back in multiple legal scenarios, and he has even donated to her campaign. So their relationship goes far back, and she's obviously very skilled at what she does. And just like Trump, she's a media personality. She was the co-host of The Five on Fox for 3 years. She will most likely have no problem getting appointed.
I never thought that I would say that I'd rather have Matt Gaetz than this new pick for Attorney General. Trump picked Pam Bondi as the next Attorney General of the United States. So let's talk about Pam Bondi a little bit. She started her career out as a prosecutor. She did that for about 18 years. Then she was Florida's first female Attorney General. And that's where it started to go downhill. Apparently, Trump donated $25,000 to her campaign. Seems like no big deal. Well, let's watch this clip and you'll find out a little bit more.
The very first time Pam Bondi answering questions about Donald Trump's donation to her campaign and her decision not to investigate Trump University. Anchor Paula Grown following the money for us tonight. Paul?
Wendy, it's Pam Bondi in her own words tonight, like you've never seen her before, answering tough questions about the implication that her office is open for business.
I am a career prosecutor. I am proud of my career.
Tonight, Pam Bondi on the defensive.
I will never let any money of anyone affect what I do.
At issue, whether Donald Trump's $25,000 donation to Bondi's campaign influenced her decision not to investigate fraud allegations against Trump University.
There was nothing improper about it, so there was no reason to return it.
Bondi's impassioned press conference comes months after pay-to-play questions were first raised and after the scandal blew up in the national media.
There was never an investigation into Donald Trump by this office.
Bondi says her office didn't investigate Trump University because there was only one complaint from one citizen in Florida.
Before I was Attorney General, I've met his kids. Not all of them. I know Don and Ivanka. I met him before I was Attorney General. I think I actually met him in college, but I didn't know him well then at all.
But she also admits she has a comfortable relationship with Donald Trump and his family.
I've been friends with, I respect him. I respect his family. I know his daughter. I'm sure I was calling multiple friends and family because I was campaigning.
I will say, it sounds like they have such a close relationship that with or without money, she would have showed favoritism towards Trump. After that, she represented Trump at his impeachment trial. She now is currently a partner for a lobbying firm, and the company is not shy about it at all. In addition to that, she is also on the legal counsel for the America First Policy Institute. This is a nonprofit. I tried clicking on their website, but it appears to be down right now. When there's corruption in government, it is always hidden in these 501c3s because they don't have to track everything. And I already know some Trump supporters are going to say, well, you have to know the inside to know how to drain the swamp. Possibly. I love your positivity. So let me ask you guys this. Do you think she's going to get in there and drain the swamp? Or is she the swamp? Let me know your thoughts and make sure you're following me for more.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing about immigration. Remember, Florida is one of those states that's been very aggressive about migrants and deportation and moving people to different states and everything else like that. Florida has enacted all sorts of rules and laws to curtail students and what they can do on campuses and finding legal justifications for manipulating education money. She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz, even with the deplorable moral background that he has.
Yeah, and I want to discuss that with a little more depth with both of you, including her record on civil rights, LGBTQ rights, and other issues that are front and center at the DOJ, and which we know were also big campaign issues this cycle.
Pam Bondi as AG. That's going to work out really well. Pam Bondi, who had an execution rescheduled because there was a conflict with a re-election event that she had. Yeah, the pro-life, morals, Jesus, Christian people. Yeah, the killing of a human being, it's a conflict for me in my calendar. Yeah.
Hey friends, this is T again. According to the Daily Mail, breaking news, Trump announces Pam Bondi to replace Matt Gaetz as his pick to be Attorney General. Donald Trump moved quickly to find a new candidate for Attorney General on Thursday, announcing the former Florida AG Pam Bondi as his pick to head the national legal system. Matt Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration early in the day when it became clear that a lingering scandal meant he did not have the votes to be confirmed in the Senate. Pam was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years, where she was very tough on violent criminals and made the streets safe for Florida families, Trump posted on Truth Social as he made the announcement. Then, as Florida's first female attorney general, she worked to stop the trafficking of deadly drugs and reduce the tragedy of fentanyl overdose deaths, which have destroyed many families across our country. Trump has made it clear that he wants a disruptor in the role, someone who will overhaul the Department of Justice and help push through his agenda from day one. That should have been Gaetz, a competitive congressman from Florida. But he withdrew after 8 turbulent days in the spotlight. Bondi, 59, is another Trump loyalist with a combative streak. In 2013, she achieved notoriety by persuading the then state governor to delay an execution so that she could hold a campaign fundraiser. She was part of Trump's legal team during his first impeachment and served on his Opioid and Drug Abuse Commission. Thanks again for stopping by. This is T. Please subscribe.
Hello, YouTube. Please tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comments. And tell me, do you guys think she's fit for the job? Is she right for the job? Or do you think she may have some controversy as well? Because, I'm hearing around these TikTok streets that there might be a $25,000 scandal that got paid in 2016. But what do I know? I'm just a talking head. But let's see what's going to go on with this pick. Some people love her, some people don't. But let me know how you feel. Have a good day.